So we are, here together to actually happy Veterans Day. Thank you for all of our veterans that serve. Let me say that first. Being Veterans Day and this being Native American Heritage Month, we have some of our indigenous from different cultures, tribes that are here to speak, that are veterans and have served. And we honor them so much, especially, being the original peoples from Turtle Island. And during this time, really feeling that the need of the original peoples to share wisdom as we go through these changes, and having this platform to be able to do that today. I feel very honored to be able to sit with the group that we have with us. So thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and let's start with Ivan. Ivan, would you like to introduce yourself? And then we will.
I think we're doing prayer, right?
Oh, yes, let's do prayer first. That's right. Absolutely right. Melvin is going to lead us in prayer before we get started. And then since Melvin is actually leading us in prayer, it just makes sense for him to follow up and introduce himself first, and then we can move that way. So absolutely, David. Thank you.
My next. Hello.
Oh, yes, Melvin. Yep, we're waiting for your prayer. We're waiting for your prayer.
I like your hair. You grew it nice and long. Okay, my name is Melvin Swan. I'm from the Lake Manitoba Reserve. I'm Anishinaabe Ojibwe. I'll say a prayer in my language that the Creator gave to my people. Lang di siya manado, minnakumanan da sundani makmawitkamek. Nanakundano debo en matis liminab matis en kinagawa akusima akno magisu. Gagisu makunguna mishumsak, we know matibiayo at kitap miguang may. Kanabata biyang nung gama mas na tesyo. Kanji danduda sige gubani kitwana gubani tuta man mishumsak. Jamantu. Quick seka an Indonesia an quick web madness in the Menajaman go. The name Maganakagi tabiot no goma was not tesio. And you know any machine animals, you don't know any machine, an open mass. You know, the matters you moget to make cap me at no gum when in an acontani amin of matching. Is a when a misnam kizemantu. Is a when a misnam kizemantu. Is a when a misnam kizemantu. When a misnam kizemantu. Neglect. That was my prayers to the Creator. I don't know where to start. If I miss something about my story, it's all you can Google my name on the internet. Melvin Swan with the red beret there, the red man. I guess in this country, Canada, in Manitoba, Manitoba, I've been chair of languages. I've been president of Aboriginal veterans in this province. I've been a court translator. I've been a bodyguard. I've been to England, Germany, Norway with my service. I was infantry. I've had a stroke. I buried 2 wives. I buried 2 brothers to suicide. In April 2012, I had a stroke, which my right side was affected, my dominant side. I am a stubborn man. I took on the Canadian forces in this country with racism, and I beat them. I'm the only Indian in this country with a military police badge, which comes to me honoring that Thunderbird, which is also my spirit name, Bejigo Benesi, Lone Thunderbird. What you see on my beret right there, that's a Thunderbird from the West Coast Haida Nation. The military police and the Canadian forces wear that. Again, I go back to the human rights case I fought that I won in 1994 against the Canadian forces. And it took everything I had. I wanted to die at that time, but I didn't attempt to suicide as a warrior. I went back to who I am, to the ceremonies, to the vision, to the dreams that the Creator gave me. My way of facing death and life was in that Sundance. And I was given a lot of blessings to live, to face life as it is. Because I came through a lot of sexual abuse with day school, which file I just closed here in Canada, level 5, and also residential school. So you see the systems I face. You ask me where this reconciliation in this country has got to go. Well, the answer I say is in our treaties. It's in our language. It's in our ceremonies. I think today, when you look at this world, whether it be Canada or the United States, the truth is there's a lot of poison out there. And there's got to be a lot of remedies no matter which president gets in the United States, whether it's Obama, whether it's Trump, Biden. I think they should take a closer look at our people, our ancestors, our truth, and even making a good gesture by releasing Leonard Peltier. It's kind of dumb and not good to keep him in jail. He should be allowed to go home. And one of these presidents should be taking that step in order to look at reconciliation, whether it's here in Canada or the States, here in Turtle Island. As a warrior, it is the truth that I share. And I borrow this white man language. It's not my mother tongue. Anishinaabe muan bakandikit. And I say that from my heart as Anishinaabe, because I've stood up and be counted in this country. And I will never give up. As I look back at my community and why I left to become a soldier, it was a clear private matter because of the sexual abuse I faced when I was 6 years old, of the shit that was done to me by not my people, but the church, everybody in that circle. And I retaliated. I was an angry man. And I kept going. I kept going till I saw the military as a way out to prove my manhood because it was taken from me. So the rest is history. I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm here as a peaceful individual that connects me to my ancestors of Treaty Number 2, Lake Manitoba, Dog Creek, and the people I grew up with. I mean, it's not all bad. It's for me and my personal healing. I have a lot of injuries on my right side, my right hand, because of my anger and rage through my life. That's 46 stitches because I smashed it in a petrified wood table in British Columbia, Comox. So my life, I've come full circle, dealing with day school, residential school, and the Canadian Forces. But I've sacrificed that not only for me, but the people in my circle, the people that don't have a voice today, as I remember all the veterans I walk with in this life. It is hard for me not to step up and see what's going on in this world today. I mean, I don't hate the white man, but they're too greedy. And I think that's what the lesson is with COVID and all this poison around us. For those that understand me in spirit, it is hard not to follow the spirit and the truth. You have no choice when it comes to our ancestors, our people, this land. I think that's what dictates my life as I live. And I have an unconditional belief and faith in our loving Creator. With that, I will not ramble. I didn't wish to
No, that was great.
offend everybody, but Google my name and you'll see the red man. And
Um,
you'll see me in my father's image as a chief he was. I've never been a chief, but I have been a warrior. So I've done my best for all my people concerned, whether it's day school, residential school, or the military, as a spiritual leader, as a warrior, as a person that made a difference. It's no wonder I had a stroke because some of our people are dangerous in that way. And I found out the hard way. Miigwech.
Thank you so much for sharing, Melvin. And I am looking forward to hearing and you being a part of listening to some of the other guests that we have here, because there's so much that you have experienced in your life and have seen in the eyes and through the ways of also being a veteran, that your knowledge and your spirit is so needed with connecting with our youth and still in service in so many ways. So I'm
Yeah.
so excited to hear the other guests that we have on the panel as well. And because I think that there's, unity in that, definitely unity, and a lot to grow on from your experience. So thank you for sharing. And Ivan, if you would like to introduce yourself, that would be great. Ivan, can you hear
Okay.
me okay? Okay, good.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. Listening audience, my name is Ivan Looking Horse from the Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota. And right now, currently, I'm on the Oglala Reservation on Pine Ridge, staying with my grandma. I am a homeless veteran that is working on building a lot of homes. But anyway, my Lakota name is Black Fox. Shunghira Sapa is how we say it in Lakota. And Black Fox is uncle to Crazy Horse, which is Crazy Horse is in my family on my father's side. And Sitting Bull is a grandfather on my mother's side. And amongst other chiefs. And we are the keepers of the White Buffalo Calf Pipe. My brother is the keeper right now. His name is Orville Looking Horse, and we are kind of the central family of the Lakota, Dakota, Nakota Nation. And so I hear a lot of feedback from our people. And today is Veterans Day. I'd like to wish all the veterans in all the nations around the world a good, happy Veterans Day. I'd like to sing them a song at this time before I start with my introduction, finishing it off. And so this song is for the veterans. This song is for how we live a code that we live by, saying that I am a warrior. I am ready for anything, anytime, anywhere. And so this is our code that we live by as warriors. And when we're born into this world, we are born a warrior. And we just go through the process of learning what consists of a warrior. And there is a lot that consists of a warrior, but I'll tell that after this song. I Oh, Kalayo, Nakidula, Wow, hey, hey, Oh, Kalayo, Nakenula, Wow, hey, ya.
You got
Okay, that was a war song. That's a song that we would sing before we go into battle because it was a short song, and we knew that every day was a good day to die. And we all our warriors are already got up from training from a young boy to look at the stars and navigate with the stars. So that's why they were so dangerous in World War One, World War Two, Korea, Vietnam. You know, a lot of our warriors are already uh, trained to listen to the spirits of the world and and and, and guide themselves on the red road and navigate with the stars. And so they were very dangerous in warfare. And so, today, as I look back and I went into my time of my veteran, I spent 4 years in the regular army in the communications command, and um, and 2 years in the National Guard in North Dakota. And throughout that, the communication is the backbone of any nation. And for me to keep going as a veteran today, as a warrior today, I've done a lot of accomplishments, but in our way, we brag about ourselves. We have to give away, So we don't like to brag about ourselves. But I did a lot of accomplishments in my lifetime, which brought me to where I am at today in keeping our veterans, our spiritual leaders, our tribal leaders, our treaty leaders. I'm part of all of them that here in the Lakota Nation. Also was Iapaha, what we call a man that throws his voice for like a loudspeaker to keep the people organized. And so I was up in Standing Rock in 2016. We rode our horses in, and I stayed with camp till it was done in 2017 in the winter. But throughout this year time of being a veteran, a veteran is somebody that went in the service and came back alive and is still walking amongst us and have a lot of leadership qualities, but they're not put to use. And so observing these here, I would like to have our leaders, our veterans, organized in a way that would train the young youth to have job skills, to get them off the couches and get productive in the food sovereignty, renewable energy, solar energy, a lot of different things we're getting ready for. And we got word that there's going to be a lot of funds that are going to be released in the renewable energy. And so we're getting our training sites ready, and we're getting ready to organize and be ready this time. We had some good presidents in the past that we're going to look out for our interests, but our people were not organized, as the Ocheti Shakoni said. Well, it's our job today to bring our veterans, our people, our leaders together to make a better tomorrow for all the youth and the upcoming unborn that are still to come. As a leader, we have to look 7 generations ahead to ensure that the children born 7 generations ahead have food, water, and air to breathe. And this is our job today. And being a Kichita, this is what we look out for, is keep our elders, our children, and our women safe. But today that is not happening. And so we have to bring those teachings back amongst our people. And there's no other better way than to get educated soldiers that already have the ability to take orders and organize and communicate so that they can get things done. And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now as a veteran today. I'm 60 years old, and I think I have maybe 20 years left that I can be active and be able to get some things done for the people here. So I just try to give my enthusiasm wherever I can get them to do something, and we're out looking for other help around the world also, and we will help other people around the world because our way of life is always a ceremonial way of life where we can communicate with the spirits, and we can tell a person what needs to be done, and a lot of tribes come to our nation to find themselves, to look deep within themselves, to have that vision quest, and to find their path that their ancestors walked a long time ago. And we get some good results from a lot of the tribes that we have helped so far. And we try to do what we can for all natives around the world. Someday we have to open some of our secret ceremonies up to non-natives because they have to learn and they have to understand what the grandmother Earth and the living solar system is all about. It's the circle of life, and then when you're done with your sacred life here on this earth, you go on to another life, and it just keeps going. So people understand these here, and they learn what to do. We can make a better stand at protecting our water, our sacred sites, our ceremonies, our language, our youth, our elders, our women. There's a lot of things that are in chaos today. So I just want to kind of open this up, and today I have a few people that will be helping me on this plight, and we have training sites already going up, and hopefully we can get things going here very quick. Just waiting for the pandemic, but main thing is we have to get organized. So, and you know what? My battery is about dying on my phone, so I'm gonna have to look for some charging equipment, and then also I have the corona knocking on my door, so I have a lot of death in the area, and so I have to go into a sweat lodge here within a couple hours to help another family. So I might have to get off the line here within the next 10, 15 minutes. And I sure like to keep on working as a group here to make a world awareness of indigenous people and their plight and what they need to get done. I hope.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
correct,
you so
Ivan.
much, Ivan. Thank you. We'll be in contact, and definitely we'll continue this. So thank you so much for your time, Ivan. Blessings to you.
Thank you for the song.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for the song.
Good.
Thank you so much.
And
And
right,
Donovan,
thank you.
are you there with us, Donovan?
Yes.
Do you guys know each other before you go, Ivan? Have you ever met Donovan?
I might have met Donovan somewhere along the road. I think I went around the world twice and talked to everybody once.
So I know you have to get on your way, Ivan, and whenever you have to exit yourself, we completely understand. And thank you so much for your song, for your time, for your heart, for your mind, for this collaboration. Thank you so much. And but if you are listening a little bit, Donovan, and I know that I definitely Glinda is here with us. I know you got to chat a little bit earlier before we went live. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Donovan right now to us, to our group. And then, of course, Glinda. So Donovan, if you would please introduce yourself, that would be wonderful.
Well, thank you very much, Sherry. That's a nice jacket you have on.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yes. Yes, you
And,
recognize that, right? Is Lori with you? You have to show her too. So this is actually a gift from Lori, and that's Donovan's wife and Donovan. So yes, I'm very fond of this jacket, and I did know that you were hopefully coming on, so I did want to wear it today. So yes.
I want to thank Ivan for his songs. And yeah, I think we did cross paths a couple of times, Ivan. I know once I addressed the Great Plains tribal leaders at Standing Rock a few years ago on that land buyback program, and also at the protest at Cannonball. I was there and may have met you there. And Melvin, thank
Right.
you for your service and everything. And I guess I want to thank all the veterans before I get started and for their service and sacrifices they had to make. And some of them are still over there that we pray for every day. And the ones that have returned that are uh, that have been harmed and are in wheelchairs and on crutches, they made the ultimate sacrifice to protect us and our way of life. And we want to thank them for that. And my story is pretty much I was at boarding school when I was 10 years old in Pierre and Flanders, South Dakota, and at Standing Rock. I graduated from Standing Rock High School in 1957. And Melvin, you're not, or Ivan, you're not too old. I'm 81 years old and still going. So you look pretty healthy, and I think you'll be there for a while too.
Good.
So, but to me, I think education is one of the things that we need to really look at in order to get the way of life that we once lived, of the pure, clean, noble, and all the other adjectives you can say about how we lived. And we have to get to our children. I really firmly believe that we need to show our children how our grandfolks lived and what things meant to them. And, the school education was great. They taught us why you don't break that branch off of that tree, or when you dig something up from the ground, you put it back. Things like that, things that we don't teach anymore. And a lot of people told me, well, we don't want to go backwards. And it's really not going backwards, because if you look at today's society on how the new life they live is uh, born from the technology and everything that we have, and then the old ways. how we lived back in the days before the white man took over. We didn't have all this obesity because we ate the right foods. We ate the animals that ate our medicines, and so we stayed well and healthy. We didn't have heart problems. We didn't have diabetes and all these things. And that was because we were taught what to eat, when to eat, how to we were taught all those things. We went to boarding schools and other schools, and they tried to clutter our minds with adjectives and adverbs and nouns and these kind of things that had no purpose as far as our grandfolks were concerned. And our grandfolks, to them, everything that we had contact with had a purpose. And us as a person, we have a purpose. We need to find that purpose. Some of us do find it, some never. Some it takes a year, some takes 10 years. But we need to find that purpose. And to me, this thing we're doing today is a kind of step in that direction because everybody recognizes what's wrong, but we need to look at solutions to how we can unlearn a lot of these things that we learned. You know, we learned how to be drunks, we learned how to be drug addicts, we learned how to be abusers. It wasn't like that before. We didn't have courts and juries and lawyers. We had warrior societies that took care of the abusers or took care of the violators of whatever our roles were as people. And we all had a role. The men had a role, women had a role, children had roles, and it was up to us as adults to teach our kids. It was up to us to teach our kids. What happened to my thing?
Oh, there you are.
Okay. It's up to us to teach our kids. And to me, even myself as a adult, as a parent, failed. Yeah, I was abused and I was sexually abused. I was beaten and everything else in boarding school. And I stayed drunk for about 30 years. But I kept looking in that mirror every day. See that old bloodshot drunk guy? Is that really you? And it took a few years for me to finally decide that that isn't me. I'm somebody else. I'm something different. And it took me a while to find out who I was. But now I know. And most of our kids today don't know who they are. They don't know their tribal government. I was just listening to my wife giving a class over on these computers to her students. She's a fifth grade teacher. She asked them, do you know what today is? And nobody knew what Veterans Day was or why it was celebrated by us. So we haven't taught our kids anything yet. And that's where it's at to me. I would like to be able to get to these school government programs and begin to insert into those curriculums. Teach those kids who they are, what they stand for. Teach them our spiritual ways. You know, we were all born with spirituality, but we pushed it aside because the black robes came and all the other ones. My grandmother still practiced her religion. And when she passed away, I was gathering her things. And I remember that one time some church people came to the house and I said, why do you listen to those people? Oh, she said, if I let them in one time, she said, I don't have to worry about them anymore. They won't come anymore. And they did her book, Bible. When she passed away, she had about 5 or 6 Bibles stacked in the corner. And she didn't even know how to read. But anyway, she told me that we need to stick with our spirituality, that we were born pure. That's something that's inherent in us. Nothing, it wasn't given to us. It wasn't taught to us. We had it. We were born pure. And those kind of things we have to teach our kids again, because going to boarding school, all of that was taken away. You were beaten if you even said something in your language, or you said something against their God. And so to me, I think this is a step in the right direction in trying to formulate some kind of a process so we can get our children back and we can get our way of life. And then when I go to my next class and I ask them who they are, they can really say that they are a strong, noble Indian person. But
Mhm.
today they can't yet. We need to teach that. So to me, that's what it's all about. And again, happy Veterans Day to everybody. And Sherry, thank you for doing this for us.
Oh, my pleasure. And you know something? This is my favorite jacket, by the way. I will tell you that it really is. So, no, I thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for coming on, Donovan. And you know, there's things that you've touched on, and that really resonate very deeply with my heart. And I know with we David and Mesfin, and as David will say, the three peacemakers, and want to continue these discussions and continue putting this collective vision into action, Donovan. So just look forward to that in the future. And of course, with your lovely wife that I send my love to, also Lori. And now I want to introduce Glinda. Glinda, you're still hanging in there with us, aren't you?
I am. My little
Oh.
girl is too.
Oh, good. So yes, Glinda, please introduce yourselves, and however you want to start, that would be wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I'd like to say Happy Veterans Day to all out there, and thank you, Miigwech, Kichi Miigwech, for your service. And I do have a lot of veterans in my family. Um, I don't know really how to start, but I'm just going to share a little bit about myself and how I guess I feel that I'm tying in here today. Um, I well, I guess I should share as well that I have been ill for the past since last November. I fell ill from suffering from Crohn's and severe ulcerative colitis, and the doctors are trying to find out why been suffering for so long. And I do believe there might be something wrong with the water, but prayers up for that. I've been happy to say that the past 3 weeks I've been pain free, and the whole 12 months of just suffering from this pain has just been enormous, and I feel a release from it. So I'm happy to share that today. And my name is Glenda Stevens. This is my daughter, Rosanna. She was the Peace Flame carrier in 2015 during the Friendship Flame, was it? And she helped to, in the walk to the peace tree, our peace tree that we planted on the island here. So yeah, Rosanna, you wanted to say hello? A quick hello, and then you could go. Hello.
Hi. So nice to meet you. I wish my
Yes.
son was here with me to say hi. Oh.
She's 9 now, but yeah, back then when they brought her up to the podium, I was so proud of her words when she was like 4 or 5 years old, and they asked her, "How do you feel?" There were no youth available, and of course she was following me everywhere, and that I went. And when they said, "There's a little girl that's here," and they asked me permission, could we ask her to come up? Yeah, sure. And they asked her, how do you feel about all of this and our marches and our protests and that what we were doing? And Rosanna said she was shy at first, but then I said, it's just like at home, no worry. Like when we're at home on the microphone, when you're singing on the karaoke. And she's like, oh, okay. And she said, be strong. It's for my future. So I was really
Wow.
hopeful for a little girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine right there. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been on this 12-month, well, a year now, from November to November, suffering from this Crohn's illness and severe ulcerative colitis. And before that, I'm going to bring you backwards a little bit more. I was on a path, on a mission, and I traveled around Turtle Island, went west, went east, went west, stayed with my sister out there, traveled, and I was on a mission to bring people together for unity. And I went south and came back again, came home, and I knew there was something wrong with my body. So my relatives, they've passed on now, and one of them, my aunt, she passed away from cancer just a few years ago. He had told me, we don't have the technology out here that would help to heal you. Maybe if you go back and get out of here and travel west again, and then go back and see your doctors out there, and they could help to find something that will help to bring you more into, a place where you can find healing so that you can continue on. Thank you, my girl. And I did that, and I went west again, and I had a lot of friends out there who were excited that I was back out there, and they were telling me, why don't you stay, like stay out here? And I said, yeah, but my home is out east, and I have friends all over the place, they're pulling me here, pulling me there. And I said, I'm just gonna take it to prayer and just see what the Creator has for me. And I ended up going south and carrying a staff with me and drawing more unity and friendships. And along the way, I've never ran into so many homeless. That hurts. I do a lot of kind of missionary work to help people who live on the streets, and drawing unity with them. I was providing for myself and my kids, and it's very hard to do as an Indigenous person, to be out there. I'm just breaking up. To be out there, and it's truth. When a person is out there and you're not in your own home territory, you have no support, you have no provision for you. You have to keep going and keep providing for yourself. And that's what I was doing. And I had a lot of support along the way, a lot of friends who were helping along the way, a lot of veteran supporters who were supporting me as I was supporting them. And they kept asking me, where are you headed to? And I said, I really don't know, but I'm on a mission to help this sick world. How are we going to do that? Just draw unity with everybody. They said, well, what do you expect from me? I'm homeless. And I said, well, you and I are valuable. We are. And we are the currency. You and I draw the flow of life and we got to keep continuing on helping each other, one another. And the more I traveled, the more people that I met along the way were helping and just encouraging and saying, keep on going. And then when I decided to come back home, I had this idea. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go into one of our own health centers, not here, but in out of the community. And I'm gonna take everything that I learned and draw all of my certification and draw it into healing and put it into a health center and ask the people that I met, because we are all healers. We all help heal one another. And I was about to get hired. There were people who followed me to my job interview. I was so happy about that, but I was like, you can't come with me. No, it's okay. I'm coming with you. No, you can't come with me because it's a job interview, like be like being interviewed and you gotta, no, we're here and we're, and I was like, okay, but like, just letting you know. And I was nervous as heck, but I went to the interview and I was getting hired for the job. And there were people who were moving into the area to come and follow the vision of people supporting each other and drawing unity to each other and healers helping one another, mostly along the way. That everywhere that I would get stuck, there was a veteran there and he was always like, hey, I got your back, don't worry about it, I'm watching you. You're okay, you're safe. And every time that I travel, they're always there to provide that help, that support that I need as a citizen, as a civilian, as a person, just or an Indigenous person, especially because it's dangerous out there. It's dangerous out there as a woman. I think I'm crying right now because I just recently, Joyce Eshuan, she got murdered in a hospital in the region here. And I know that her last name, Dubé, is cross ties with my family. So that's a relative as well. And I know that we are all related. It's terrifying being out there. I had this idea that I would take this certification that I had and draw it as a healing center. And then have all of our Indigenous people to come in and step in, take over, just do it. Yep.
Glenda, I want to thank you for sharing so openly and so genuinely. You really, touched on some real points that need to be discussed and brought to the surface. And I'm sending prayers your way too, just so you know, and look forward to staying in contact with you. And everything that you touched on fits so much into the group that we're speaking with right now, with a part of that collective vision of healing. And it's starting with the healing and bringing thinks back to the roots, and what Donovan, what we're all talking about, bringing our elders in and youth together and healing our Indigenous communities and having a healing space to actually be able to do that. So, and also different economic resource that actually works with the heart and the mind of our people, not so much depending on the casinos, which actually takes away from our people, right? So, so many of those different things. And so I really just want to say how thankful I am for you sharing from your heart, and to look forward to expanding on this collective vision. Bringing over 1,000 Indigenous nations together is very heavy on my heart. And I believe veterans have a very special place in that, as well, with their, in that, with the elders and medicine people, our veterans, definitely, and bringing our tribes together and starting these wellness centers on a global outreach, protecting our medicines and cultures for our generations to come. And that connection with our elders and our youth is just, and that re-education is vital to the healing, going back to what we were, these gentlemen were speaking on as well. So I just wanted to share that I just really appreciate your genuine way of speaking. And I think that you sharing your vulnerability is not easy, but at the same time, so many people are going to be able to heal just from relating to what you just shared. So you're, I just really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
Sherry,
Yes,
this is David speaking.
yes, David.
Sherry, Glenda Stevens, remember I had the vision of the tree of
Yes.
life?
Yes, that's
Glenda Stevens is she's the keeper of the second part of the vision of the tree of life, where she had the dream about me. And she also designed, she actually embroidered a flag for the Free Nations, the Federation of 1,000 Nations. She hand embroidered our flag that will go into the Federation of 1,000 Nations. Even before you came on board, she had already embroidered a flag and the vision of the multicolored flag with the circle. And she also created a unity staff, a red unity staff that was going to go unified all the nations, because she was ill. She only partially finished a red staff. There was a red staff, a black staff, a white staff, and a red and a white staff. And she completed partially the red staff. It's called the unity staff. There's 4 of them, and actually you were supposed to be carrier of one of the staff. I was supposed to carrier 1. Meswin was supposed to carry off one of the staff, and the 4th person hasn't been identified yet. So just to be aware that Glenda has been at this a long time for the unity with us, also in heart and in spirit. Glenda, right?
I recognize, that's why I was happy to see you by face, Glenda, because I recognized your name through David sharing, different things that had to do with the vision. And David, you're referring to the symbol with the circle with the feather going through it?
Yes.
Oh, Glenda, so to touch on that a little bit, so several years ago, it must have been going 3.5 years ago now, or so, maybe 4 years ago, that is actually how Creator laid David on my heart. I was already, with my relatives at Standing Rock, and also doing some work that had been called in Florida at that time, and I had come back to Colorado. And anyway, long story short, during a time, I had seen David posted something on a group that we had started years ago. It's called Difference Together, Indigenous United. And he posted the flag that the what you embroidered, the circle with the feather. Yes, the symbol. And I saw it, and Spirit, it was just one of those that connection right there. And when I saw the Indigenous Nations assembly, it just hit me very deeply. And I knew, you know, because of a collective vision, a vision that I was carrying that had been laid on me. You know, I believe collectively as we come together, for sure. And this way that only, you know, they say, yeah, just in ways that we can't fathom, that only creator can fathom. But anyway, so that's how I ended up getting in touch with David. And then of course, all you see where it's gone from there, are a lot of that walk. So I'm so happy to actually, you know, not even if it's virtually, being able to speak to you and hear that side, because yes, that that part was, I did receive that part, and your work that you did on the feather, we'll have to show everybody now with the circle, really resonated with me. So thank you, Glenda. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. So
With the feather, the story of the feather, when I had the vision of it, I went out, and my sister was waiting for me, and I said, I have to go out and find these materials. I want to go buy material. And she said, well, we have to bring the kids into the school and timing, and I'm going to drop you off here, and I'm going to go there, drop them off, and then I'm going to come back for you. But then we have to another place that we have to go to, and it was like timing, and she was waiting for me and rushing me. So I went into the store, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I was buying bags and bags of material. And my sister came back, and she's like, what are you doing with all of this? What are you making? And I said, well, I don't know yet. I just feel like I need to do this. And she's like, I don't know why you always do that. And I said, what? And she goes, here I am waiting for you, and you're shopping for material. And I said, well, I'm at the cash. And she goes, no, not that. And while I was literally speaking to my sister at the cash, there's a woman that came, and she wheeled away with my basket without me seeing it. And my sister wasn't paying attention either, but I was talking to her, my sister, and she was like, I don't know why you always have to believe that you have to go out and do something, just everything, when everything comes to you, everything just flows to you. I would just wait. And I said, well, I'm here now, and I have and I turned around and I said, my basket's gone. And she goes, well, let's go then, come on. And she grabbed my hand and ran, but this woman grabbed me by the hand, and she says, wait. And she goes, I have a number for you. She goes, I heard what you were saying earlier. And she goes, no buy the material, no buy. And I could barely understand her, but I was looking at her, and she's like, gave me her phone number. She goes, I give you me, I have lots. And she gave me bags of the material that I could have used for anything really, but that day I just created that, and on there, and I just kept sewing and sewing and sewing it, and I said, this is it. And that's how it came to be. My sister of all people, and she was saying, you got to believe in yourself. You believe the belief.
Thank you, Glenda, for that. I sent her the design, and she created a beautiful flag out of it, and that will be the flag. Actually, that's the first flag that will go into the Federation of 1,000 Nations. Hello?
Yeah,
Somebody's breaking up. Hello?
I think it's Sherry's sound is breaking up.
Zombie apocalypse glitch mode.
Can't hear anything anymore.
I think Sherry's sound is breaking up. Glenda, so thank you so
Yeah.
much for. Can you hear me?
Hey, you're breaking up. You froze, David.
Okay. I have to come back in. I was gonna leave and come back in.
Donovan, where are you from, Donovan?
From Fort Belknap, Montana. I'm enrolled in Assiniboine.
Thank you.
I went to all my school years. I went to
It looks like the circle is in the middle of the circle.
Zoom, yeah. I think our program is freezing, Sherry. Hello?
Okay. Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Are we done?
I think Sherry's sound seems to be very bad reception.
Okay.
So, Glenda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, David.
Um,
Perfectly.
yes, my prayers are for you for healing, Glenda. And
Correct.
somebody, sorry, the sound is bad for someone is speaking. Can you hear me, Glenda? Clearly?
Okay, but it is you. You see,
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Yeah, Glenda, well, our prayers with you for the healing of your body. We pray for you, and hopefully you can heal soon because you're very important.
yes, I wish
We-
Somebody speaking here?
They're freezing.
There's a bad reception here.
Rosanna, could you
No.
close the door?
No, we cannot hear you. Who's speaking? No, the reception is very bad.
And
We
then
cannot-
further, it's so very powerful. Linda, okay. Yes, can you hear me now?
Hello? Sherry, can you talk?
Oh, talk, Sherry.
Okay, since Sherry is not talking, and her sound is bad. I just wanted to say to Glenda that our prayers are for you
Can you hear
for
us
healing.
now? Sherry. Okay, you're going out for being here. If you're not able to hear me anymore. Can you hear me? I'm speaking. Can you hear me now?
No, very bad
Linda,
reception.
if you can hear me. Okay. Thank you so much if you can hear me. And thank you, Glenda.
I hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch the camera.
Bad connection.
Yeah, it's a bad connection.
I hear
Uh,
David and I hear Melvin very well, but I can't hear Sherry
I
anymore.
cannot hear Sherry either. So, but Glenda, just wanted to finish saying that, our prayers with you for the healing of your body. So, because to be strong, like Rosanna said, and that you're a really important part of the circle that create the unity for all of us. So we honor you, and to keep strong, and we pray that you heal quickly so we can fulfill the mission of bringing all the indigenous nations together around the world that you're collectively part of.
Miigwech your prayers. I really appreciate that. And I do have a very good circle of strong supporters that are helping me along the way. Yeah.
So since Sherry cannot get on, let's have one of you to do a closing prayer. Then we'll close it off this. So since Melvin did the opening prayer, I think to do a closing prayer, Donovan, would you like to lead us in a closing prayer?
Yes, I will. Thank you. It'll be in English because I don't know, speak my language that good. So we ask the Creator to have pity on us today. And we thank Him for all the things that He's provided us. And we pray that He'll always be generous and kind. We have special prayers for our circle and for all the people that have been supportive, and for all of our relatives and friends, and pray that they're safe from this illness, and that they'll be able to, and those that have been affected by it will be healed and will sit among us again. And we pray that He will guide us to help our children come back to the things that we used to live for, and pray that all of the social ills, the alcoholism, drug abuse, sexual abuse, and all its forms, and that we can again be that noble, strong people that we were. We thank you, Creator.
oh, right.
Any last words from any of you that you wanted to say to the world before we close it off?
Just that I think in Manitoba here we have Aboriginal Veterans Day on November the 8th. And I don't know what happens across the country, but again, it's in honor of Indigenous veterans in this province. I don't know if it carries on anywhere else in Canada or the States, but I just wanted to mention that to the people in the circle, and I say that me question did they magan it took. All my relatives around the circle and this life.
Thank you. Anybody else want to say some last words before we go?
I would like to say that wherever you are out there, unity is important because it does work, and drawing friendships together and allies together and keeping strong together. We are strength. We are strong together, and we are the walking currency, because as you flow, I flow, and as we work together, we float together in whatever process that will happen in the future, and drawing peace to the world, healing to the world. It flows through us. Just to remain strong. And miigwech for being there for all of us. Miigwech for being there for each other. Miigwech.
Donovan, you want to say some last words?
Yeah, I thank you, David. But I think we need to really get back to yourself that we seem to have pushed aside or we've abandoned. It's there. It's dormant. It's sitting there, laying there, waiting for us to begin to use it again. Get the belief back, the belief that our ancestors had when they carved that center pole and made water come down there. They believed, they had a strong belief in what they were there for and what they were teaching. And we need to have that. It seems to me like we have lost all of that, and it's laying on the side of the road over there. And we've got to pick that up and start believing in ourselves and our ways, and especially our prayers. Thank you. I want to thank all of you and for hearing us, listening to us, and God be with you.
Oh,
My prayers are all with you for Veterans Day celebration. We hope to do it again next year, but in 1 hour time, we'll have the World Peace Conference. We'll talk about how we can bring world peace to the world, and hopefully you guys will can and join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are you all able to hear me? Saying thank you. Bye. Thank you.
miigwech. Yeah.
Miigwech,
Goodbye.
Sherry.
Sherry, your reception is bad.